listening to tonight's show. You can connect with Jammin Jukebox Radio Show on Twitter at Jammin Jukebox or on Facebook at Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. Check out our website at thejamminjukebox.com. Also, follow us on Blog Talk, where you will be always up to date on every episode as we add it. Each episode is available for immediate download upon the conclusion of each broadcast, and as always, on iTunes. Thank you for joining us.
Well, hello, and welcome to Tuesday night, and this is the Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. I am your host, DJ Delta Dom, and I hope that you're doing great tonight, and for those of you who are in the Northeast and the Midwest, I know you're getting hammered with this tremendous snowstorm that we've got just pounding down on you, and I hope that everyone is really safe and just inside and off the roads tonight, because I hear it's pretty horrendous. And, of course, if anyone in those locations can manage to send any snow my way here in North Carolina, feel free to do so. I would love to see one good snow before the season officially ends. But in any event, we will quit talking about that and let you guys listen to our wonderful guest tonight. We have someone who I came across on Twitter a little while back, and then they sent me their music, and I was just like, wow, I love this stuff. And his name is Shawn Nelson, and he has a band, and he's from Texas, and he has got an EP out right now called Enough, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So without further ado, I want to bring him on. Hello, Shawn.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for an incredible introduction.
Well, we do the best we can here. Well, you're very, very welcome. Thank you for being with us tonight. We're very glad to have you and to talk with you and get to know you a little bit better, as well as your music. So I guess I kind of want to launch right into this by asking you, how did you get into music, and where did it all begin for you?
Well, I kind of came back and forth with music. I started at a young age with the trombone in the second grade. I was fortunate enough to have a music program at my elementary school, and was kind of really enamored by a few trips to New Orleans with my parents. And so I started playing the trombone and was pretty good at it, and went through junior high and played at, kind of like a special music school in the middle of Houston. And I just, decided I didn't really want to pursue it anymore. I was kind of tired of carrying around the case. And I wasn't really interested in wearing, funny hats and crazy things like that. In the marching band, I just really wasn't really into that kind of deal. I was more interested in like the jazz band that I was in junior high. But anyway, so I didn't really come back to music until I was in college at UT, kind of like my junior or senior year. I picked up the guitar and kind of taught myself, and it's kind of been off to the races since then. I mean, I've had jobs and, done all kinds of crazy things just to kind of keep the spirit alive and the energy and the momentum going.
Well, I have a deep love for music. Both of my children are involved. They've been involved in music in school for, as long as they've been in school almost. My son, in fact, he's actually going to pursue that, professionally upon graduation and going to college next year. So he is, he's done the whole marching band thing, but he's also done the jazz band thing. And so it's, it is such an important thing, and I think it does plant a lot of seeds in kids, to want to become musical.
Absolutely.
So,
it also teaches you a lot of things like sports do, how to prepare for a competition, how to, be on your best, how to, mentally prepare, how to physically prepare. So I think it's all around like a really good thing for kids to do. I mean, I really believe that.
And that's why I'm such a huge advocate for, the program, the music programs staying in the school. I mean, if they have to get rid of anything, don't get rid of the music programs, because,
absolutely.
Music is such a universal language to so many people. It doesn't matter where you're from or what kind of music you like. I mean, it has a way of just kind of bringing people together on so many different levels, and it is so good for kids. It's such a positive, and you're right. I mean, it teaches them so many things, and one of the biggest things that's taught my kids is discipline in terms of, because they know if they don't practice, they're not going to get good, and and practice makes perfect, as they say.
It's the real world out there. There are winners and there are definitely losers.
That is so true. Now, you were born and raised in Austin, Texas, and I must tell you, on this program, it is so nice to finally talk to someone, because a lot of times, I'm sure you haven't noticed my accent. People ask right off the bat, are you from North Carolina or are you from Texas? And so I can at least say, well, now I've spoken to someone from Texas, so you decide. But it's, what was it like for you growing up in Texas? Because Texas, I mean, the heart of Texas is just music city galore. I mean, there's so much music there, and it's so steeped in, country and Western music. And so is that how that kind of, that style of music kind of was born in you because of the huge influence there? Hello, Shawn.
Hey, I don't know what happened. Sorry.
I don't either. I was just talking away, and I had gotten to the end of my question, and I was waiting for you to speak, and I was like, did I lose my connection? I was immediately looking at my phone because I'm just talking away. I don't know what you heard last, so you tell me, and then we can go from there.
I didn't hear anything. I just remember me saying something about winners and losers and how, competition is, somewhat healthy and kind of prepares you for the real world. But what was your question?
Okay. Well, my question was, I had a comment first. I was, commenting on the fact that, being born and raised in Austin, Texas, one of the things that I was kind of joking around with you about is that, a lot of times, in case you haven't noticed my accent, a lot of people will ask, are you from Texas or are you from North Carolina? And so it's good to finally talk to a Texan, a true blue Texan, because now I can say you decide. But I preface that way because, Texas, the heart of Texas is just so steeped, is so rich in country Western music.
Oh, yeah.
And so for you, was that kind of the influence that, helped you gravitate towards, deciding to do country as your genre, or is that just the genre that you like, that you wanted to do anyway?
No, I there's been many times I wish I maybe would have chosen something else, but I think it really just kind of chooses you, I know that's kind of cliche and everything, but when I first picked up the guitar, that's what came out, and that's what I was writing. And at that time, when I started playing, I was really, really into Robert O'Keefe, and had a chance to meet him, and it just kind of gave me the impotence to kind of say, maybe I could do something like this, but it's going to take a lot of work. And, still I'm trying to write as well as he does. But, and then a lot of times when I'm up there on stage or, I write all kinds of different songs, I think that, I'm kind of definitely grounded in country music or, maybe the older styles of country music or blues music or bluegrass, or just really kind of embedded inside of the American music, So I definitely started in country, and I still write a whole heck of a lot of country songs and play them at my shows, and we play dance halls, but, we also play places like Stubbs in Austin. We play places like the Continental Club, so you can kind of stretch it out a little bit, and play, different kind of grooves. But to me, music is music. Good music is good music, and that's about where I stand with that.
Yeah. Well, when I first heard your music, I first of all I love the thematic behind it, because every song on the EP that I've listened to is just, it has a great theme, and it's so about the heart of this country and where this country is and today and where it's been. And I love the fact that you're speaking truth in your lyrics, and I think we don't have enough of that anymore. And I can definitely tell, the Robert O'Keefe influence in your music, because it's got kind of a good, rockabilly kind of feel. So it's not pure country, and it's not country and Western. I mean, it's got a good rockabilly feel, and I love that about it. But I love the fact that your songs tell a story, as most country music does. But yours in particular, you get right to the heart of things that people. Your songs, as I was listening, I was like, oh my gosh, I had so thought this, and And it's not only an identifier, but it's one of those things where, just when you feel very strongly about a certain issue or something that's going on, you're saying what people have thought, I guess is the best way to put that. So talk a little bit about Enough and kind of where that all came from for you.
Oh, that's a great question. I really appreciate you saying that. Lyrics are very difficult. I mean, you don't want to be, uneventful or boring, yet you don't want to be up on a pulpit preaching to people. I don't know if people really want to listen to music so they can, have a, spiritual discovery all the time. Some people just want to just hang out, myself included. But, I do think there's a time and a place for a song like Enough. And when I had the groove to that for a really long time, man, like maybe almost a year, and I never really came up with it, and I just came up with that first line, don't you tell me why the rich get richer and the poor get poor, and I was like, well, I could just go through this whole thing about these things that I really, really, truly care about and think about, but maybe I've been too scared or, worried about my image or whatever these things are to really say it and to feel it and to make people believe it when they hear it. And I just said, let's do it. I mean, I don't really have anything to lose. It's not like I have some famous music career going on here, and I definitely wasn't, doing it for attention because I don't have any attention. So it came from a really true. What I mean is that it came from a really true place, and I was just really trying to speak the truth, and also for people to say, hey, maybe I should, think about why they put fluoride in the drinking water.
That's right. Well, one of the things that I love about your music is the fact that you're real. I mean, you're not trying to sugarcoat anything, and you're being true to who you are. And as I think as an artist, that is so important because there's so many cookie cutter artists out there, as you know. I mean, you listen to the radio and you hear this in all genres, and it's so nice. It kind of reminds me of, when I was listening to your music initially, I was thinking, gosh, Hank Williams Jr. would be so proud.
I love Hank Williams Jr.
So proud. Yeah, I mean, he tells it like it is. I love artists that can really make a statement with their music, and they're not doing it for attention. They're doing it because of how they really feel. Charlie Daniels, I mean, think of all the music he's written. People love him no less.
Charlie Daniels really has come full circle, man. I mean, I was a huge fan and still am of his work in the 70s. I just thought that you could put that stuff up with the Allman Brothers. I mean, it was just rocking, and it was true and honest. And, there were some things said there that, maybe weren't said at that time period. But, and then I think he kind of changed directions a little bit, but now I think he's coming back full circle. I mean, he's doing a lot of writing, and I actually tweeted the song to him. I was like, hey, man, this is your, if you want to do this song, by all means, it's yours.
Yeah, well, something, I mean, I think people like, the Charlie Daniels and the Hank Williams Jr.'s and the Robert R. Kings. I mean, these are the people that, in my opinion, should be running the country.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and nothing against anybody running our country. It's just that, I think sometimes, without getting political, I think sometimes when you're living and breathing every day in this country and you're working hard and you're really trying to make ends meet and all that, I mean, you're really living it and you're really understanding it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I
more
think
so than someone that's kind of out of touch, so to speak.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cliche, too, but, I mean, I really feel like I'm a working man's musician. I mean, I've definitely had to work just to put out all these records and stuff, but I was going to tell you something, and I kind of lost my train of thought because I was thinking about working. But go ahead.
As an artist, you're always thinking about working. I think that just kind of goes along with the territory. And, well, I want to ask you now, the album cover for your latest EP, Enough, I love the whole fist on the table, fist on the ground kind of. I mean, it so makes that statement, like we've all done it. When we've had enough, we've pounded our fist on something and said enough, and I love the statement it makes. And so
it's powerful.
Yes, it's very powerful. And how did you come up with that? I mean, it's so it fits perfectly, but how did you arrive at that being your album cover?
Man, I've been working with these guys, Evan and Dustin Bozarth, and they started this little web multimedia artist company called Airship, and they're just incredible artists. And I, gave the EP to him. I'm like, man, he's done a bunch of posters for me. He did the Live at Antone's CD cover a while back, and actually the Ain't No Easy Way cover as well. And I was like, man, for this one, I just want like a really awesome piece of art that really makes a statement and don't pull any punches, Mm-hmm. And he came back with the Fist. It was the first one. I'm like, man, that's it. And what it says to me, and I now remember what I was going to tell you. As societies sometimes disintegrate into, for lack of a better word, tyranny or oppression, which has happened, more times than we'd like to count in this world, and maybe more times than we even think about in the modern world. The first people they go after are the artists and the people in the press, and the writers and all the musicians who are speaking the truth, because those are the people that can truly affect change in the hearts and minds of people. And that's what I think the Fist is that it kind of represents, the Fist kind of has to me as like a socialistic, communistic kind of image. But in this deal, it really is representing the artist Fist. And it's kind of like a play on the whole imagery of the Fist and what it means to live in this world in freedom, free from oppression, and just and sometimes you just gotta, sometimes you just gotta like say, look, hey everybody, look, enough, right? All right, we're more than them, enough.
Yeah, exactly, and and that's just not just in our country. That's everywhere. That's worldwide.
Worldwide.
And
this fight for freedom.
So many have lived under oppression, and I think to some degree we are, in a lot of ways.
And that's why
we brought on ourselves, of course.
We need to make sure that we keep it that way. We need to be vigilant about our rights, because a lot of people don't have these rights, and this country is the greatest country in the world that the world has ever seen. And it's up to us to keep it that way.
Oh, most definitely. Now, you've released enough, and so now are you currently working on any new music for your next album?
Oh, yeah, man, I got a country record coming up, and I'm kind of waiting on to do it. We're starting to do some pre-production on it, which means just going into the studio and cutting it live and checking out the songs and, working out the arrangement. The guys that in my band, the Good Buds, are just amazing musicians and great people to work with and really good friends of mine. I've been playing with them on and off in different projects and, some of them for 5 or 6 years. So, we're really good at working together and arranging this stuff. So I don't know if we're going to take that, country 10-song demo and send it around and try to get a fancy producer. That's definitely something I've been thinking about, but we'll see. Definitely, it's not going to be coming out anytime soon, but, a lot of people are taking video at our shows and posting them on the Facebook page and on the website, so that's a good way to hear the new songs. They're definitely a lot more country than the EP.
Well, and anything that we can do to help promote your music, we're glad to. We'll post it on our site as well.
I appreciate it.
Kind of spread that out some, because the music is really good. It needs to be heard, and that's one of the reasons why I do this, because I love indie music and I love the artists that produce it, because you are some of the hardest working people I know. And you put out some of the best stuff I've ever heard.
The labor of love.
It is a labor of love, because you're not getting rich. That's a given, and
no.
And it's you have to do it because you love it, because it sure ain't for the money, is it?
No.
Yeah, it would be nice, but that's part of what we, all joking aside, that's part of what we do here. We try to do everything we can to promote, artists, so that they can get their, get the word out about their music, because there's so many good artists in the indie music world, and I've often said that. Indie music is it's just a whole side to the music industry. It's the unintentional best-kept secret of the music industry, and music record companies are missing out. they have no clue what they're missing out on. And honestly, I would rather listen to stuff you right any day over turning the radio on and listening to my local radio station. Honestly, I really would, because you're getting so much more. It's just so rich and talent, and like you say, it's a labor of love, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
So you guys, now you said that you and the Good Buds have been together for about 5-6 years now?
No, we've been playing in this iteration for about a year, a little bit longer. But I've known the guys, and the guys have known each other independently. So we've all kind of been around the scene and played with each other over the years. But this is, so we got together, and actually I changed the band name and, called it Shawn Nelson and the Good Buds, just because we were also involved in it. And, and I think the next one's going to be, and I hope the next one's going to be like that too.
Oh, I think it will. I mean, I think you guys have got a great thing going on, and I see a lot. I mean, you've got a lot of music already written. That's half the battle won anyway. So now you guys just got to put it out there, and get it produced. And it's not cheap to make a record, as I know, but it would be great to have more of your stuff out there, because this is the kind of stuff that, it speaks to people, and it really is the kind of music, like I said earlier, that we've all thought what you're writing about and singing about on this record. It's we've all wanted to say it.
I'm going to have to write some more of those.
That's right. There you go. Well, in terms of Enough, do you have a favorite song on the album? On the EP? Mm-hmm, on the EP.
I don't know. I love them all. I love Yeah, You're Right, just because it's just it's a personal. I mean, if you listen to that song, you can pretty much understand why I play music, from Houston to New Orleans to Austin. And, and One Day, I love the way One Day came out on the record. That song was just kind of like a little melody that I had, and I think that might be, the one I listen to when it comes on. I'm like, ooh, I like that groove. But I think my favorite's Enough. I mean, I named it after the the title track. I've just never written anything like that before, and I love it.
Yeah, well, I like all of them. If you had to pin me down to one song, I mean, Yeah, You're Right. That is like, well, for one thing, I've said Yeah, You're Right a lot in my lifetime. But, being North Carolina born and bred, yeah, it's just part of the language. Other people look at you from other places and they go, what are you saying? But especially a friend of mine, she's from Chicago, and so she and I co-host a show together, or I help co-host on her show, and she's always giving me a hard time about my accent. And I've said yeah and other things I won't even get into here, but yeah, I mean, it's just there. I said it just then. See, Yeah, You're Right. But I love that song. I mean, it's just so, like I said, it just kind of spoke to me in terms of what the lyrics were, and but all the music is good. Enough is probably my second favorite if I had to put them in the order. But that's just personal,
I know that's good to hear. That's good. My mom likes Yeah, You're Right. That's her favorite one.
Well, that is kind of a slogan for a lot of people when they admit to something. Yeah, you're right. And it strikes a chord with people for sure. Just the title alone, even before they hear the song, they know it's going to be a good one. So, now. That's right. It really is, and that's what I love. It's got a great beat, which, by the way, we're going to play that. I'm going to play that here in just a few minutes for the listeners. But anything else you got going on? Where are you playing next? In case people are in the area, they can, Austin area, they can, come out and check you guys out.
Well, we've got some really, really cool things coming up. We're playing the Rodeo here in Austin on Monday, March 11th. At 2, which is a kind of an afternoon thing. They have bands going out there all day. But the big show that we're just completely excited about, it's our first time at Green Hall, which is going to be Saturday night, April 6th. And Green Hall is a legendary dance hall in Texas, maybe one of the oldest, if not the oldest. But we're going to be playing with Asleep at the Wheel.
Oh, my gosh. How cool is that?
That's a big break for us, and we're super excited about it.
Oh, my word. Does it get any bigger than Asleep at the Wheel? I mean, come on. Hello.
I know. I'm like, dude, Saturday night, Green Hall, April. Give me a break.
You are so there.
Asleep at the Wheel.
Well, and all I can say, because I'm talking to you, is, and this keeps coming to mind is that Austin City Limits. I could so see you guys on Austin City Limits at some point, and I hope that you do get on that show. That's one of my favorite shows to watch, in fact, because they have so many, they have talent that people recognize, but they also have talent that, that need to be recognized, and it's always a great show.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's an awesome show. And
I think it's the longest running show.
It is, and I mean, gosh, you're right there in Austin. Hello, Austin City Limits. Shawn Nelson.
I wish
and
it was
the
that easy.
I know, really. Like, I wish I could just pick up the phone and call someone when we get off air. That would be awesome. But I don't have that kind of pull. But anyway, maybe you never know who's listening to the show. We have had famous, singers listen to the show, so you just never know. But
you never know who's out there in radio land, right?
Exactly. Well, I am just stoked about that. I mean, you've got a whole host of dates that you're going to be performing, and gosh, that's awesome. So I'm very excited for you guys. It sounds like you're going to have a great big 2013 and lots more music to come. And please know, anytime you get anything that you're releasing new, just send it my way, and I'll be sure to get it on. We also have a radio station in addition to our radio show here. It's called Jukebox-junction-radio, and so we put everything on that as well. So that'll get continuous 24/7 airplay as well. So
cool.
We're glad to do what we can to help you out, Shawn.
I really appreciate it. You guys are great.
Well, thank you, and it's been a blast, and keep us posted, and love to have you back later on, especially a little bit later on, and to get your take on how everything was, at Green Hall. That would be awesome to find out how that. I mean, you might be touring with the Sleep of the Wheel. You never know.
You do never know.
That'd be awesome. They've been around forever, and I mean, they're still just as popular today as they were back, in the heyday when they were.
Oh, yeah.
Every time you turn around, you heard them. I mean, they still draw a crowd when they perform.
I think it'll sell out. It'll definitely be our first time to play for that many people. So.
Oh, that's just such a good problem to have, isn't it?
It's exciting.
Oh, wow. Well, I am excited for you. And
Thank you.
And for all the listeners out there, you check out ShawnNelsonMusic.com. And there's a link there. It's listed shows. It has all the lists of their shows. And as a matter of fact, you guys have got a show tonight, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Coming up at 11 p.m. at Hole in the Wall.
Oh, yeah. That's just going to be me and my mandolin player, Fletcher Murchison. We do.
Well, that's okay. It's still a gig. And
oh, yeah. I do a lot of those.
Well, hey, that's perfect. Every time you play, that just gives you more exposure. So.
Yeah,
well,
I'm a songwriter first, so I like to get out there and play my songs.
You got to. I mean, if you write them, you got to play them and perform them for fun. Well, if you want to follow Shawn and the Good Buds on Twitter, it's Shawn Nelson Band. Just hit him up, and so thank you so very much, Shawn. We certainly appreciated having you with us tonight.
Right on. Thanks, Don.
All right, take care, and we'll be in touch with you real soon.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, good night. Oh, what a great guy, Shawn Nelson, and we've been chatting with him over the last half hour. So he's awesome, and his music is just as awesome. You're going to love it. I want to play a cut from his latest EP. It's called the EP is called Enough. And actually, before I play it, I want to let you know you can pick that up just about anywhere. If you go to their site, Shawn Nelson Music, you can go to bandcamp.com. It's listed there. You can purchase it, download it. It's all over the place, and I tell you, it's good stuff. So we're going to play, before we close tonight, we're going to play a cut off of that, and this is my personal favorite. This is Yeah, You're Right.
Me, oh my, oh, they cooked up them ghetto boys, yo, and made Willie D an H-Town hero. Yeah, you're right. Well, I owe it all to New Orleans. 7 years old down in the quarter, brass bands banging in my eardrum. Never
Nelson and the Good Buds, and that was off of their latest release, Enough, and that was Yeah, You're Right, and yeah, it is right. Great EP. Love it, and you will too. And again, you can check out Shawn and the Good Buds at ShawnNelsonMusic.com, and you can also follow him on Twitter and the band, Shawn Nelson Band, and check them out. They're a great band. They got a lot of promise, and I don't know if you tuned in late, but they're going to be at Green Hall, which is one of the biggest places in Texas to perform, opening for Asleep at the Wheel on April the 6th. So if you're in that area, check them out. Show starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. So that is going to wrap us up for tonight, and we've certainly appreciated having you all here. It was great having Shawn here to talk with him about his music and what's forthcoming for him and the band, and a huge thanks to him. I want to give a shout-out to all the listeners tonight for being here with us. If you're brand new to our show, welcome aboard. We hope that it won't be your last time. You will be back here. And so this is the Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. I am Dawn, your host, otherwise known as DJ Delta Dawn. And we have got a lot more shows forthcoming this week in particular. So if you will tune in, I'm trying to look at my schedule here. If you tune in Thursday evening, we've got a hip-hop poet artist. His name is Charlie Scott. He's going to be right here with us at 7 p.m. Eastern, and you will love him. He's got some really, really good stuff out, and we'll be chatting with him. And then, let's see, Saturday night, we have our Indie Artist Showcase. We'll be right back here, and you never know, you might hear Shawn, another one of Shawn Nelson and the Good Buds tunes in our show. So anyway, again, a big thanks to Shawn and for being with us tonight, and thank you, Paul, as well. And we will see you right back here Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And it's the Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. Good night, all.
Tonight's show has been brought to you by One Taste of Main Street Cake Shop, baked from scratch, custom-made cakes and cupcakes, and you'll be hooked. Every cake is made to order with only the finest and freshest ingredients. This is no ordinary bakery. Cakes are never pre-made. Main Street Cake Shop is in demand, having provided cakes and cupcakes for numerous prestigious events, bridal fairs, and venues. Owned and operated by April Murray, she has garnered many awards for not only her exquisite cake designs, but also for their incredible taste. If you're looking for a cake for any occasion, or cupcakes in a variety of flavors, then Main Street Cake Shop is the place. Visit them on the web at mainstreetcakeshop.com.